All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Mixing It Up with MiRealSource. Haven't seen you guys or had anybody on for about a month, but we are doing these Mixing It Ups with MiRealSource every month at first Thursday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And we will be giving away some prizes and a couple little promos for you guys to get excited about. Colleen is my co-host. Colleen, do you want to introduce yourself?
Good morning, everybody. So nice. I'm seeing so many familiar names popping in. Great to see you this morning. If I haven't got to meet you, my name is Colleen DeLang. I'm staff here with MiRealSource and also a realtor now for 22 years. Makes me feel old when I say that, but I'm excited to do this show today.
Yeah, definitely some familiar faces. We have a lot of regulars that watch this, so we appreciate that. And my name is Taylor Fedowa. I do our communications and our photo program here at MiRealSource. And we're just kind of going to catch up a little bit. One thing that I do want to announce is that this will be my last Mixing It Up for 2020 at least, because I am 9 months pregnant and will be going on maternity leave after next Thursday, unless the baby comes earlier. So we just wanted to let everybody know that Colleen will kind of be running this with different co-hosts and speakers until January, unless I might pop in or something on future ones. We'll see how I'm managing juggling two kids under 3. So so I just wanted to let everybody know that you guys will see me back in January. And
well, I am so excited for you. I sure am going to miss you. You just do an amazing job, and I feel lucky to co-host this with you. And I'm glad you're telling people, because you look so fantastic. You would never in a million years even know that you were pregnant, and until I saw a picture of you standing, I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah. Like there's a baby there.
Usually it's paid mostly in the stomach this time around. So but yeah, so we just want to make sure everybody can also hear us. Thank you, Tom. Thanks. All our audio should be on. You have a little microphone if you cannot hear us, that you can set your audio preferences to. And there's a questions in a chat bar. That's where you can go ahead and engage in this discussion that we're going to be having, respond to our trivia questions, say anything that you need to say throughout the webinar today. And then Colleen, do you want to introduce our guests since you were able to set this one up?
Absolutely. And as Taylor mentioned, the key today is if you do have any questions, we've got a few people manning our questions log. I'm really excited about this show today because this is something that I wanted to know so much more about, and it's getting to be such a hot topic, and it's something that we really need to know the rules, what matters, why it matters, what makes companies different. So I am excited to talk about photography and drone footage, and I believe we've got some of the best in the business with us today. So let me introduce our guest hosts, and again, they're going to be able to take your questions. They're going to tell you, I learned in just talking to them recently for about an hour, I learned more than I ever even knew. I didn't even know what questions to ask originally until I got to speak with our guests. So our guests today are Steve and Kim Jorecki. Can you say hi?
Hi.
Hello.
Good morning.
And they are going to give you a lot of information, what you really need to know about taking drone footage. And Steve actually teaches a class. And Steve, tell us a little bit about the class you teach.
I 6 years ago started to design a program for Oakland University for a certificate program. And what we do is we teach all the rules and regulations to be able to get certified with the FAA. And we also, to make us different than anyone else, we teach how to fly if you don't know how to fly already. And we have been doing this for 4 years, and we have a 100% pass rate. So we've not had anybody, not be able to pass the FAA exam.
Awesome.
That's terrific. So now, first, I have to know, because you guys are a husband and wife team, which I was a husband and wife team for a long time. That can be a little bit of a challenge. So how did you guys meet? Tell us how you met, because I think that's such a cute story.
Well, I knew Steve when I was very young, probably around 11 years old. He lived right next door to my grandmother and grandfather's house. Whenever I would go and visit, he would be out either playing ball or riding his bike up and down the street. He'd always come over and just talk, obviously no interest at that age. Then when I was about 17, I was at my grandmother's house one day and he seen me out his kitchen window. He said to his mom, "Who's that?" She says, "Oh, that's, Kim, the granddaughter. Probably haven't seen her in a few years." And true story, he ran over. He asked me out on the spot. And we went to Metro Beach. Yep, we went to Metro Beach. And from then on, honestly, we've been married 36 years. There hasn't been a day really I haven't spent without him from that day onward. We got married when I was 20. So we've been together a long time.
I love
Yeah.
those happy stories. I love
Yeah.
those happy stories. All right, so tell me how you guys got started in this business. Tell me, how it began for you guys.
My husband we've always owned businesses, and he has turned his hobbies into a business. Before this, we had a fiberglass business, which we made parts for remote control airplanes and remote control helicopters. And we sold all throughout the world. So that was his business, obviously flying, remote control, and his hobby, which worked out wonderful. Then the drones came into effect, and he was obsessed like everybody else was. And him and his friend came up with this idea: we should get into real estate and do this. Actually, we were one of the very first pioneers to get involved in this. Took a long time. We started getting a clientele and working with people. And 9 years later, I think we've done a really amazing job out there. Doing drone footage and aerial videos, and we do interior photography. So it's turning his hobby into a business, which we both totally love doing this.
Yeah.
So it makes it fun. It's not work.
Yeah, that's the best.
Awesome.
Right.
You know what they say, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, right?
Absolutely.
So now you guys offer a bunch of different things. So tell us about some of your products and services, and then tell us what makes you guys different too.
Sure. Of course, we're known for our aerial videos. When you purchase an aerial video, you get all of your aerial photos included with that package, and there's no limit. If we have 20 pictures that I think are, worthy of being published, I'll give you all 20. We color correct all the pictures for you. If it's a gloomy day, I put in a nice blue sky. If the interior pictures, we add fire into the fireplace, I will give you the option. I'll send you one without the fire, one with, and you can make the decision if you choose to use that photo or not. If there's a TV in the room, we'll put a picture of the house that you're selling inside that TV. We just do unique little things. It makes it above and beyond what other people are doing. We also do interior photography. We do interior videos also, which you incorporate into the aerial video to make it one virtual tour, which is really nice. When you order any aerial video, what we do, or even with your interior photography, we mark it for you, and that's what makes us different than anybody else. We have a huge social media following with all our social media links, and we will take your listing, we put it on our social media, and it gets out to close to 20,000 agents we have on them. So your listing will be published to everybody. And if in case in a couple weeks, if it's still for sale, all you gotta do is give me a call and say, "Kim, can you post that again?" No problem whatsoever. I'll repost it on all of our social media pages. And that's just, it's free of charge. It's just something else we want to do for our clients to go above and beyond to make us unique from anybody else that's out there. So of course, as you said, we're a husband and wife team. We do anything to make our customers happy. If you decide that you would like to place an order, you're going to always talk to me or talk to Steve, so you know who you are dealing with.
And I have to tell you, I recently used you for a challenging listing that I had, and I was absolutely thrilled. I'm going to show that example and some of the things that you did today that were so unique. But it's funny because I've talked to you at 7, 8 o'clock at night, and you're so nice to, you know, walk me through all of my questions, and I love that. So Steve, I want to ask you, because you know so much about FAA exemptions, and you have such a wealth of knowledge on that. You know, a lot of people these days, they think they can just go on Amazon, buy a drone, and go shoot footage. Can you tell us why that's not a good idea? What they need, they need to know? What is an FAA exemption? What does that mean? Can you give us some of the examples that you shared with me yesterday?
I sure can. Anytime with the FAA that is stated from them that you put anything on social media, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo, anytime you share any of your pictures or video, you have to be certified with the FAA. And you just can't say, well, I'm going to go out and take pictures for myself and post them. If you're in the air, you have, and you're sharing photos or video, you have to be certified. One thing about being, certified, when you're certified, you can get insurance. Someone who's not, certified cannot get the proper insurance, for drones, and that's for liability, which is, a lot of people don't know that you can't go out and fly a drone and use your own footage. And if someone complains or someone gets hurt or something happens, one thing, you're not insured, but I find it, reversed, that the realtor can be fined 10 times as much as the drone pilot. The maximum drone pilot will be fined is $1,100. The maximum for a realtor using someone is $11,000 per, video, or per, they find out there. So if you have 3 videos out there, they can fine you for each, separate one. Same thing with the drone pilot.
Wow.
So it can add up real quick that you can be fined. So it's really important to make sure, that all agents, when they hire a company or a person, that they, you actually should ask them for a copy of their FAA certificate and their insurance.
Yes.
And they both will have expiration dates on them. Very important, just to cover yourself.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's one of the questions that I do get frequently in my photo class. Is people will say, well, they'll buy the professional photo equipment for still photography or videos that they want to do. And then they'll be like, what's your thoughts on me getting a drone and doing drone photography? And I always say, well, unless you're going to take it to that commercial level where you are running your own drone business and getting certifications, then, your drone is just your hobby. You're going to want to work with a professional drone operator where they have all these certifications and stuff like that. So I don't know if this was one of your follow-up questions, Colleen, but what is the process of going through that certification? Like, how regularly do you have to do that and stuff like that?
Well, what you need to know is about 80% of what a real pilot needs to know. You have to know everything about the weather. You have to know everything about airports, runways. You have to know how to read sectional charts and maps, which is the largest part of the test.
Okay.
And if a realtor wants to, see what that's about, Google sectional charts for aviation, and there is so much information, how high, where you can fly, and everything. You originally take the test. It's good for 2 years. Every 2 years, you have to renew it. This started in 2016, that you have to have the certificate to, move forward with your company.
Okay, so
question.
every 2 years. Okay.
Now, yesterday you brought up some things that I had never even thought about, like flying by self-rig. How does that work? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. There's rules and regulations. You can only fly within 5 miles of airports. We would have to know that. Your height is 400 feet, cannot go above 400 feet. You cannot fly over roads, period. I see a lot of videos where people are flying over roads down expressways. That is a huge no-no. There's so many things that you need to know. We have special waivers where we can fly at night. You can't fly if you don't have the waiver at nighttime. We have special waivers to fly by Selfridge, to fly by certain airports. And on top of that, you also need to call. We have to call the tower, give them our name, give them our license number, let them know when you get on location. You have to call again and say, okay, I'm on location. I'm going to be flying from 11 o'clock to 11:20. My height is going to be 300 feet. I'm flying at this location, so they know where you're at. Or if a plane happens to come in or something, they can contact you. There's a lot involved. It's very serious. It's very serious. There's always, two of us on location where Steve is flying. I am always watching for or listening for airplanes or low-flying helicopters or birds. That's a big one. Birds that come and want to be interested in the drone that's up in the air. So it's a huge safety thing. I'm looking for, telephone wires, things that when Steve is busy doing what he's doing, flying the craft, I'm watching for surrounding areas to make sure everything is safe, or if someone comes by us, or any cars that are coming, things like that. So there is a lot involved.
And I think even yesterday you were saying that there are also special circumstances, like I believe you said the president's daughter was coming in. Explain how that works. How do you figure that in?
They're called temporary flight restrictions, and they're called TFRs. And president, vice president, someone important comes in, they actually put out a TFR, and you will be arrested if you are flying. And they actually put out a 25-mile radius that you cannot be in the air whatsoever. They won't even give you permission to fly, and it's usually for half a day, so you have to watch for those. And there's no excuse as well, I didn't know. You're going to be in trouble, because they take that as a threat to the president, vice president, anyone important, that you could use that for harm. So yeah, there's other things you have to watch for. And what a lot of people don't understand too is like today, the wind can be 15 to 20 miles an hour. But when you start going up into the air, and I could probably check right now, I'd take a guess right now, we're probably over 40 miles an hour at 400 feet. Your drone can't stay in one location. It will blow away if you go up that high. So you need to know and have apps that, start going up in the air, it's going to get really windy. Some days it's close to what the ground speed is. Other days it can be, 5 times of what it is on the ground at that height.
Right.
And also at airports, we say you can only fly to 400 feet, but as you get closer to the airport, it can be 400 on the outskirt. And as you get closer, they only allow you up to 100 foot to fly. And also the newer drones, you get too close to the airport, they won't even start up and take off. So.
Wow, that's amazing. So much. I mean, I never even thought about, things like, the president's daughter coming in, or, what the damages would be, if you didn't have that insurance. I had no idea the fines were so steep. I mean, I think you said up to $11,000 for an instance if you've got 3 videos out there as the realtor. So did I hear you correctly that the realtor can actually be fined more than the person flying the drone?
Absolutely. Like I said, that's why I thought it has always been that way. But the drone pilot is 1,100 max. The realtor or anyone else that hired them is up to 11,000 max.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, I thought we could take a quick look at your website and some of the examples, so we could kind of go over that, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
I'm going to move my screen down here just so you can see that. So
I do have one good question before we go into the examples. John asked, if the house is close to a city park or beachfront, would that be part of a package to include on the listing photos/videos?
Absolutely. If we can see it when you're lifting, if you're real close, what we do is a 360. And if there's something of importance to see, for example, you're next to a park, in that video, I will label it. it's Metro Beach or Blue Park, something like that. If there's anything of importance that they want us to show, we have actually gone to a second location to show that. And again, we would label it. If it's a lakefront, we will label the lake that's in there. We put information in there. If it's property, we'll highlight the property, put an arrow going down to it so they know what they're looking at. But absolutely, yes.
Nice.
Yeah, I think to explain a little bit farther on that, we can't go to multi locations, like where there's a park, at the end of the city, there's, half-mile away, there's the lake, and then we have a boat. So then that starts taking more and more time. So
it's kind of part of the community in a way that
absolutely
right.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Good
we're actually going to show an
question.
example of that because you guys were kind enough to film a house for me over by Stony Creek, and you went directly over the house, but you actually did a nice little label over that showed how close Stony Creek was. So we'll look at that today too. But yeah, that's a huge help when you're trying to
Very
sell.
important. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think what I really like so much about you guys is you're very detailed. And if you have a problem listing that maybe, in my case, I had a huge giant cement brick wall right out of the back door. You guys did such a beautiful job of really capturing the house and where the property is located, and did an amazing job. And so we'll go through some of those today too. So I'm actually looking at your website right now. Taylor, can you see their website?
Yep, looks good.
All right, so I kind of wanted to go through. Would you mind if I go ahead and show this example of some of the footage you did here on beautiful Lakeshore, which, by the way, is a absolutely stunning house. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of play through here. And if you could give us maybe a little narration of some of the things and challenges maybe that you face when you're doing these.
Well, on this one in particular, it was absolutely a beautiful home. Basically, we didn't really have any challenges on there. It was a wide enough property. It was so gorgeous that you wanted to capture everything, but we tried to choose the best of the best when we are filming. As you can see, it is on Lake St. Clair. That one was I think it was like an $8 million listing. As you can see, we do the overhead shot. We look at the whole property. We don't just do aerial as far as something in the air and you're looking at a roof. No one wants to just look at a roof. They want to see the property. We go down on ground level and you actually see the home.
I love how you also, and I just paused the video for a moment. I love how you also got a picture of the flying over it. You could actually see the Grosse Pointe Yacht Club in the background. So you do not only a beautiful job, but selling the other area features, and that's very rare. So I love that view.
We know how important it is to realtors and our clients to show what is in the surrounding area. That is extremely important. For some people, it's very important where your schools are located, or like you're saying, where your parks are located. There's a yacht club, a country club, a golf course. If it's right there, we are definitely going to show it. That is the selling point, and that helps you sell your home faster. So we try to tell a story from beginning to end in our videos.
Yeah, I think our next show we should have a house like this we do it from.
Oh, I know. And I have a house like this and have a house like this for the photo field trip.
Absolutely.
That backyard is just amazing.
It's nice because you get to, you get the backstory a lot of times on it. We don't always have the privilege of meeting the agent when we go out because they don't have to be there. We're on the outside of the home. So we just give them a time that we will be there so that the homeowner knows to expect somebody on the property. We always ask not to have any cars in the driveway and stuff when we go out and do what we have to do. But on this particular location, the agent he came when we were leaving, and he gave us a backstory of all the limestone in the house, and that property once had a home that caught on fire and burnt down, and they built this. And all the limestone was brought in from another country, and it was just quite amazing.
Yeah, I say we just have our show right from that little outside area.
I know. I could live right there. In the little cabana, I could just live there, lay by the pool, look at the water.
I don't think I'd ever go inside. I mean,
I know.
It's pretty, but
that's the best part.
Totally there with you. You know, one of the other things that I thought was very unique about you guys is you've obviously had a lot of exposure. You know, I know you've been interviewed quite a few times, so I really appreciate that you were being interviewed on this show too. But I like how you've created a checklist to help clients know what to expect. And I know for me, when I was scheduling through you and you were kind enough to take my call at 8 o'clock at night and I needed it, you know, right away, and you're like, no problem. Things like just reminding the agent to remind their clients not to have cars in the driveway. But you guys have actually taken it a step further. You've actually gone ahead and created, I believe, a checklist. Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. It makes it easier for the photographer, which is us, and it makes it easier for the client to know what to expect. Not everyone's expectations are the same when you get to a home. We know what the client expects the house to look like, or to be organized and things to be prepped. And a lot of times, if the agent isn't there, their client might not know what to do. They might think that the way that they live in their household is good enough for photography. But a lot of times, as we know, it might not be. We might want to rearrange a few things or declutter a little bit. So this way, the checklist gives the customer an idea of what they should have done before we get there. For example, no cars in the driveway, if at all possible. Sometimes it's not possible, but it always looks better when you're doing a photo where there's no car in the middle of the driveway or in front of the house. Having your yard picked up. If you have patio furniture out, pushing in your chairs, putting the cushions out. You might want to put some flowers out on the patio or on the front porch. Same thing within the house. You might want to put a pretty centerpiece on your kitchen table. Things like that. Having things clean, windows washed. That's a big one. You don't want to have pictures where the windows are dirty, haven't been washed from the winter time or in the springtime. So we tried anything that we can think of, or any problems that we've ever run into in a house. We're constantly adding to that checklist because we want those pictures to be beautiful. We want you to be happy, the client to be happy, and that is our goal. So we find that real helpful to have our checklist.
Yeah. And, you know, I think in a time, especially where the agent may not have walked through the home, being able to provide this to your client. And by the way, this is actually attached in your go-to webinar panel, which is probably minimized on the right-hand side of your screen. There is a place for handouts. So you can actually look at this, you can actually download it, you can save it right from there. But I love the fact that this, not only is it great for what you're doing, but just to send ahead to clients, because these are great, you know, staging for your home anyway. So I love that you've prepared this and we can send this on and it reminds them. And I also want to point out one of the rules for when we're sending information out from the MLS is you can't have contact information. So reminding them that, you know, if you've got a for sale sign, you were kind enough to take my panel down for me because it did have contact information. So right. I think it's those types of things that, you know, we're in a hurry, we're marketing in several different places, we tend to forget. So I love that this is a really clear, concise way of getting them to prepare their home.
And I'm sure sellers have lots of questions too, like they know you're coming to take pictures or they're having a photographer out. I know I would like it just to make sure my house is, the less people are in my house for the longer period of time, the better. But you also have in red that you shoot as is because you probably don't want to be touching people's things. You know, I've heard that that's very common with a lot of photographers is we don't want to be responsible for any of your stuff. So how it is how we shoot.
Exactly. I mean, we will, you know, we've been to locations. So there's balls in the backyard. We're moving the balls, or there's towels. We're doing things like that. We're not going to shoot something that, you know, there's a whole blanket there on top of the table or things like that. But we just want it to be
yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to jump back to your website for just a moment. And by the way, I just sent everyone in the chat the actual website so that you can go and see all of these examples for yourself afterward. But I know right now you're exploring some additional areas as far as commercial. I know new construction is expected to be the next hot area. So tell us a little bit about what you've done and where you're going with that.
We've done a lot of new construction for builders. They want to see their property before, during, after. They want to see progression videos, so we do a lot of that. We do our aerial videos for them, just like we would do for a realtor. So we dabble in so much. We don't just do real estate, though the majority of our business is real estate. We do anything from industrial. We've done things for the news. We've done things inside a Ford field. As you see right there from the picture, that was the Pontiac Silverdome. We were the drone company that was able to film the Silverdome implosion. We were there on both days. And from that, yeah, it's someone, there was a TV station in Europe who's seen it, in England. They called us, said, can we come out and interview you at the site? They did, and they purchased all of our footage. And it's been on TV so many times on the Discovery Channel, called Implosions Gone Wrong, I think. And they keep running it over and over.
Did it blow up? There was the whole expectation, and then
yeah, we were there. We had the footage. Yeah, we did the palace too.
Yeah.
When the palace went down, so there's so many different things. We do have different examples on our website of different things we have done. We filmed homes, from Kid Rock's home to Art Van's home to $10 million homes to $70,000 homes, believe it or not, for aerial. It just gives a whole different perspective. Everything looks so much better with an aerial video. It really does.
That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about your equipment. I mean, because we're looking at this picture, it's kind of hard to actually gauge, how big is that? Tell us a little, Steve, about the equipment that you use.
I use, all different types of equipment. Most of it is through a company called DJI. I do have some custom rigs. The one featured there is probably about 3 foot in diameter. I've got some that are, 5 to 6 feet in diameter that can lift production cameras. And I have, ones that are medium size that I use on a daily basis. And I'm actually dabbling in, it's something new, of flying these micro drones that have very good cameras that can shoot indoors. So I'm gonna start flying inside of buildings and small businesses with drones, which is just starting, to take place. So it's something I've already got the drones. I've been, practicing, got to make sure I'm 100% before we go out and do some jobs.
That's awesome. And then I also, in my notes, you guys offer some enhancements too for inside photographs. I know we were talking about fireplaces, and we were talking a little bit about, the grass right now is maybe not as green as it was in May. Kim, can you tell me a little bit about enhancements to photos that you guys do?
Absolutely. This year it's been very unique with a lot of lawns. It's been a hot summer. Not everyone waters it as much as they should. And we do come across times when we get to a home where the home lawn is just really not up to par. And it's a shame, because the home's so beautiful and a bad lawn really ruins the video. So what we do is, in our pictures, I can definitely do green grass replacement. And what I do is I will do a green grass replacement, but I will also send you the original one, again, leaving it up to the agent to decide, do I want to use the green grass replacement photo? Is it allowed in my particular MLS, or am I going to use the original one? So we try to make it look as best as possible. I do photoshopping only, only if, like saying, if there was a ball in the way or something like that, I'm going to take that out of the picture. Obviously, I'm not taking out fire hydrants or telephone poles or anything like that, just the smaller things. And I do not charge for anything like that. That's when I look at a picture, I want to give it to my client the way I would want to see it, regardless if it's going to take me an extra hour to edit your pictures. I do put that extra effort into it.
I love that. And, you know, that makes all the difference. It's that level of detail,
does.
right, that really makes a picture stand out. Taylor actually taught me that. So I've taken Taylor's photography class. I've learned so much from her, you know, photo field trip, and especially shooting those little bathrooms where you can barely turn around and not getting like the front and center of the toilet. So Taylor,
Right.
I owe you a lot for that, but I learned that the details do definitely make it.
I share the plenty of mistakes I've made over the years of taking pictures.
It's all
Or
live and learn. Yeah.
see the
it's-
footage, you don't notice it in person, and then you get it on your monitor and you're like, oh, why didn't I
Oh.
remove that ball?
Exactly.
And when you didn't see, you know, it just should be a part of what you do, because
Right.
you want it to be professional looking. And the fact that we have software like that to make the house look the way that it does when it's not, when it hasn't been a dry 90-degree summer, that's awesome. That's good, instead of just always tacking everything on like a lot of people do. So giving the 100% from the beginning.
So I want to show another example, and this is from my own listing. And again, the interesting thing about this listing, beautiful from the front, very, very short distance from the home to the street. But it was really a challenge for me because, as I mentioned, I had this huge brick cement wall that was right outside the door, and I was having a really, really hard time. And matter of fact, if you pulled it up on Google Earth, which many out of town people would see, it was kind of glaring. And I have to just show this because this is a great example of editing and scaling this right. As Steve and Kim, you did such a beautiful job of downplaying the wall. Matter of fact, not even showing the wall, but emphasizing Stony Creek. So I just had to show this. I think, Taylor, can you see that on your screen?
Yep, everything looks
perfect.
great.
So I had to show how beautiful you showcase this home as being. So sometimes it's a little sketchy when we play it back in a webinar, but hopefully you'll get the gist of it. You see how they've taken down the sign panel? Again, not displaying any contact information.
Good point.
Which I have to be honest, I totally didn't think about. Bad agent that I am, I never really even thought about that. So Kim, I appreciate you doing that.
Most people don't, where we're taking them down all the time and putting them back.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for doing that too. And I love the layover because that's really what I was looking for. Now, here is where this huge, ugly wall was, and the way you shot it so beautifully, you don't even see it. Because that really, and I have to say, I'm happy to say I received an offer about a day later after you shot this, because it really focused more on the home, than and not that wall that was right there. So. But I think that truly made a huge difference.
Do you add any kind of like branding elements for the agents and narration, music, stuff like that?
Very good question. Absolutely. If they would like a branded video, we do branded videos, which you would receive a non-branded and a branded. So the branded you could use for your social media, things like that. And if your MLS allowed branded videos, which is great. All of our videos come with music. We just started doing voiceovers, which have been very popular too. Where you're, starting off in the video, welcome to, and then, the address, and have, a little blurb about the home. So yeah, we sure do.
Good. And then roughly what's kind of the turnaround time, or should they try to plan on booking you? Because weather, it's subject to weather as well. So any tips for the agents on that?
Absolutely. As soon as possible that you can get in the books, at least, let me take an order. And we can't tell weather-wise. That's the thing. A lot of times they'll say, I need it Tuesday at 3 o'clock. But unfortunately, we don't know what the weather's going to be Tuesday. It might be beautiful out, but it's windy, and you don't realize that.
Right.
Or Tuesday at 3 o'clock might not be the best time the way the home faces. We have to look which way the home faces for the sun. And we know that this particular home might have to be shot in the morning or might have to be shot in the later afternoon. So it's really hard for the agent to pick the time that we are to be there for the aerial, especially since they don't have to be there, because we have to look into all, you know, weather and time and all of that. So as soon as they know, let us know, and I can get you on the schedule. We can say, okay, I'll put you Tuesday, and then when the time comes on Monday, when we get a better look of what the weather is, I'll give you a call the day before and say, okay, we're going to be there Tuesday at a particular time between 11 and 12 or whatever it is. So yeah,
Okay.
we have great communication.
Good.
Right.
And then,
And then
when it's done, what's the turnaround time for the footage to be edited? And
Usually 24 hours.
okay.
If you have your pictures done, I can use our photographer usually gets them back to me that evening, depending on how many he has to do. If I have him out on 6 or 7 jobs, he can't get back and get them all loaded and everything and then sent to me that night, but the very next morning at least, you know.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
about 20, I always say 24 hours, but usually before that.
so I want to point out too, for agents who, when you get this great footage, we're talking about branded and unbranded. I just want to remind you that right inside Paragon, right under compensation and tours here, this is where you're going to add those branded and unbranded tours. So again, I'm going in, there's no branding on that. So I am putting that in as my virtual tour. So that's going to take them right to those great videos. But remember, you have 4 different tour fields. Make sure that if you have any contact information, if you do add your branding, that you put those in the branded label fields. And then anything that is non-branded, again, is going to go in your video tour and virtual tour. Because remember, if you put them in incorrectly, you'll get a fine, because we don't want Realtor A, who's working with their clients, to send out information about you and, you know, with your contact information. So do make sure when you get a branded or unbranded tour, you're putting them in the right fields. That's a big deal.
And if I could add something, the big question is, when I get your video, what do I do with it? So what we do is we upload the video to Vimeo. And if people aren't familiar with that, I know everyone knows what YouTube is, but Vimeo is a professional version of that we have no advertising on there, and I give you a private link. So it's like having your own personal website for that video. We give you the link, and then you just copy and paste that link into your MLS. And all those instructions are given to you when you receive your final video in the email with the product. So
That's awesome, because a lot of times people just get the movie file or the MP4 and then don't know what to do with it.
exactly.
So, yeah, and the big thing is putting it in the MLS, putting it on
Exactly.
Facebook. So it has to be a link regardless. So that's
Mhm.
awesome.
So really easy. Again, you just open up, maintain your listing, take that great, and you guys made it so easy, even I could do it. So, I mean, you sent it and I was able to just paste it right into my virtual tour here, or I could put it in the video tour. And again,
Right.
remember, as soon as you do that, those then appear on your single property websites automatically. So when you're starting to promote yourself with our great tools, you know, they just click on video tour and now they can go ahead and see that great drone footage and all the information that you just received. So now you're also going to offer a special promotion for people who are on our webinar today. Is that correct?
Absolutely. We would like to offer everybody, if you order an aerial video with your interior photos, we'll give you $50 off of your package. All you need to do is use when you place the order, just use the code of MiRealSource, and you get $50 off of your total package.
I'll
All right,
add
so
that to the notes from class today as well.
perfect. And they can actually contact you right through your website. Is that the best way for them to place their order? Tell me how you would like them to do that.
Absolutely. Well, probably the best way is to give us a call, because I'm going to need to get a lot more information than what the website is. More of a contact us. You know, they can contact us there, say, oh, if you can give me a call, or what they're interested in, if they're looking for a quote. If they're going to place an order, your best bet would just to give me a call so I can get all of your contact information, the information I would need on the home, things like that, and talk to you about when you're looking to have it done. So either you will talk to always Steve or me. We would be the ones that you would talk to when you place your order, so you know who you're dealing with.
And one of the things that I learned in talking to you was don't be afraid if your listing has a special challenge, like the cement wall we were just talking about. I really found that by conveying that to you ahead of time, you knew, going in exactly what we needed and what the challenges were. So do you encourage them to just give you all that information up front, Kim? Is that more helpful?
100%. I ask, is there any details that I need to know? Example, like if you're doing property, we ask for a layover so we know exactly what the property boundary lines. There's so many times there are special challenges. I'll hear, well, the next door neighbor's house is quite up to par. If you could try not to get the next door neighbor's house, and we shoot at different angles, or sometimes we'll say, please shoot low because the grass is not good, so we'll shoot low. So we need to know all of that when we're shooting because we don't know. So I will ask, tell me about the property, tell me your expectations, what is your vision, things like that. That is very important. More details you can give me, the better.
Perfect. And again, you guys have an absolutely great Facebook page. I'm actually showing it now, and it just some absolutely stunning homes that you've done the footage for. Yeah, I say we.
I like that one. I like that one better. Oh, I like that one.
I know.
We're doing that's Kid Rock's house right there.
I was going to ask you, remember when
well, I should say it's the home he grew up in.
Yeah,
we went out and filmed it, and his dad was there and took us for a tour. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
He has a house here somewhere, but I was going to ask, is it the one out in Romeo that he grew up in?
That's one he grew up in. Yeah, his is, I think, in Ortonville. So yeah, we've had that one right there. Yeah. Actually, they showed that clip right there in his last concert we were at. And I'm watching the screen behind him perform, and I'm like, oh my goodness, that is our footage. I can't believe it.
How cool is that? I mean, that's a pretty cool. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna actually post your Facebook page out too, so that you can actually see it. But you've done a great job with your social media. You've done a great job with your Facebook page. So definitely go there and check out that video footage, because there's some great stuff there. Taylor, do we have any questions that anybody on the?
Let me just double check to make sure. Nope, no new questions popped up. But do you want to break it up and do a giveaway and kind of talk about a couple?
Let's do that. Let's do that. We every time we do the Mixing It Up show, what we do is we do a trivia question. And the first person who answers the trivia question correctly today is going to win. Let me show my screen here. Kind of bouncing all over. Taylor, can you see that?
Yep, that's so cute.
Isn't that cute? I figure we're heading into the fall season, so what would be better than a hey y'all, it's fall?
That's so cute. I love the bin.
It's adorable.
I kind of want to win that myself. Make it easy, Taylor. Okay.
Plan to decorate tonight or tomorrow for the fall. I'm already excited. My favorite season. So
me too.
I decorate
it was between this and a s'mores maker, and I have to tell you, I was kind of, I'm on this chocolate thing lately, so it was a toss up. So maybe we'll do s'mores. Here you go.
Yeah. All right. So I will ask the trivia question, and then I'm just going to take the screen so that based on the responses, and I'll be able to show them what I'm asking them after.
I'm going to kick it over to you right now.
To win this beautiful basket, if you were to plan hire a professional photographer or videographer, what is something that you have to provide, or we recommend providing to the photographer?
So I'm kicking the screen over to you, Taylor.
Okay, and then go ahead and provide your questions right in the questions chat bar. And the first person to get that right will, I almost gave the answer away with what was opened on the screen.
You got a few things on your mind. You're having a baby in a couple of days. It's distracting.
All right, so do we have any responses? All right. Nope. So what's something that you want to provide that we recommend, MiRealSource, me and my photo class, to provide to the professional that we've created for you.
I know. I think I know.
Definitely something to protect you guys.
That's
You know,
right.
we've only been preaching it for years, so I'll repeat it. If you plan to hire a professional photographer, videographer, what is something that you want to provide to them before working with them?
Looks like we got an answer, Taylor.
Okay. Tom, good job. The copyright form.
Way to go, Tom! Woo!
Good job. So you got the fall basket. I will be reaching out to you after just to get your desired mailing address, whether that's your house or office, doesn't matter. And we'll get that out to you right away. And to find those copyright documents, you can go to our website, and that is under services, copyright documents right here. There's a link to all the sample documents that we've created for you to use. And this is just so that you as the agent have that freedom to be able to use the videos and the photos in any way that you feel you need to use them for any duration of time. There's not a limited licensing. And like I've talked about before, is everything changes in this industry, from technology to what's allowed. And people are able to pull pendings now, or able to share solds. So you want to make sure that you have those full copyrights. And what we recommend providing is the joint ownership one. There's a full just to the agent. But what's really nice about the joint ownership is that the photo company also has ownership over the footage and the photos, so that if they want to use them for marketing purposes or other ways, just like what you guys were talking about, Kid Rock was able to have it displayed on the big screen at his concert. So where that ownership lies is important, and equal ownership is something that we thought would be a great thing to provide to both the agents as well as the professional photographers. So you can find these on our website. You can also find them on Instanet and in MLS Docs and Paragon. Up in the top right corner, there's an MLS Docs link. So anytime you work with any third party, you want to be able to have this agreement, provide it to them as part of working with them. Now, one thing that I've put together over the years is our recommended photographers. You can find that on our website under More, Recommended Photographers. And look who is on here. Great Lakes Arial. They are on here. Just a little bio about them, everything that they do, as well as a link to request a quote, and a link to their website just so that you can see samples of their work. And you can, obviously you are aware of everything that they do from this webinar, but if you down the road you want to be able to reach out to them, everything is right here on our website. Or what was the name of that company? Everything's here on our website for you. And we were able to fill them in on MLS photo rules, as well as they're aware of the photo copyright joint agreement that will be provided. So
one other thing too, before I forget, in your handout section of the GoToWebinar panel, there is the products and services that they offer and a price list. So they have different packages that are there. So again, not only is it the checklist that you can receive right from that handout section that you can give to your clients, so your clients are ready and their home is ready to be filmed, but there is also different packages and levels of service. So if you go to your handouts and you click on Great Lakes Arial Video Services Price List, you will find that right in that GoToWebinar panel. So again, if you expand it and you click on that handout section, you'll see that.
Definitely helpful. So, all right, congratulations, Tom, and everybody else who's on that gets the discount to work with you guys, $50 off any package. And that promo code, once again, reminder, is MiRealSource. So I'm going to hand it back off to you, Colleen, just to kind of finish up if there's any last minute stuff we want to talk about.
All right. I don't think there were any additional questions that I saw here. I'll just quickly show my screen. So yes, congratulations, Tom. Steve and Kim, I can't thank you enough for being on the show today. And again, you really enlightened me. There was a lot of stuff I never even thought about. I didn't even know really what questions to ask until I had a conversation with you. So I really appreciate you being on the show today and answering a lot of the questions. Any takeaways you want to leave them with, Kim or Steve?
Well, I want to thank you for asking us to be on. It was an honor, and I'm glad that we could help inform anybody who had any questions, or just to help inform everybody in general the rules and regulations of, you know, flying or being a drone pilot and doing work commercially. And we look forward to hearing from any new clients. So we're here. If any questions, anybody can give us a call at any time. Same thing when they, you know, when they receive their final product, you have questions, you don't understand how to download something or to upload something, just give me a call, and I'm always more than happy to walk you through any question that you have. We're here all the time for you, working for you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm calling you and I'm using my promo discount on my new listing.
All
so
right.
I'll be in touch with you shortly too.
Sounds good.
All right, and Taylor, we're going to miss you. It's not going to be the same without you. I can't wait till you're back already, but we're really excited for you. Keep us posted, okay? We want to know how it goes.
Congratulations, Taylor, on that new
Thank
baby
you.
you're gonna have. What a blessing.
Yes, absolutely. All right, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. And everyone have a wonderful rest of your week and weekend, long holiday weekend coming up. And then we will, not me, but Colleen will be in next month's Mixing It Up, October. It'll be the first Thursday in October. So promotions will be going out about a week or so before. So make sure you register for next month's as well.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
right.
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.